Welcome everyone, my name is Scottie and this is my first sketchbook tour. So my big question is it worth keeping a sketchbook and will it improve your art? As I flick through, I'm going to show you my journey here, what I've learnt, what did and didn't work, and what pens I found to be the best for sketching. Now, this is my very first page. When I first got this sketchbook, I wanted to test the ink, so I did lots of little scratches and marks. And I used the dye-based ink brush here and a water brush. So it started to bleed. So that was my first testing. And then I got the same reference and I was using it over and over again. With this sketch I used the pigment ink and I was testing how watercolor went on top. And this one was a pigment ink with a bit of water, which you can see it really bled quite a lot. So then I went to using pencil and I like the texture. That was quite nice. So I did a few more sketches on that. Okay, this is from the thumbnail. So this is the first page that I used in a YouTube video. It's all using the ink from this brush pen, and I think there are about 10 references used here. An hour and a half long video. I started here with this sketch and I think I went through each page and I wanted to link it together with the birds in the background, and there's a cat, some pigeons. I also used my graphite pencil to do a lot of the shading because I knew that the dye ink would bleed, and I was testing out my grey brush pen as well here. And I love the texture on this paper with this brush pen. So after I made this sketch page, I was thinking that I'd fill my whole sketchbook like this and make real-time videos, but I think I changed. The next page in the series, so that's when I got my pigment ink brush. So this page was inspired by a Japanese city. With the pigment ink brush, I couldn't get the same texture as I could with the dye brush. You can see the difference. But these were both separate YouTube videos. And then the fourth video of the real-time series that I did, I used the pigment ink and my water brush pen to use watercolor. I wanted to add a bit more texture to these kind of drawings, so I went to looking into doing pencil. So on this page I got out my Prismacolor pencils and I went over the top to see if I could add some color and interest. And I really like the look of the brush pen and the pencil texture. So if I skip, so this is the one I did after that. And it has really nice texture in the lines and watercolor background with some pencil. Here I'll turn it around for this one. So when I sketched this, I went from the top and I remember drawing each little bit after each other instead of drawing the whole shapes. Then I added in all these images from reference, and so I combined all these references to make a scene where this guy was like he was in a dream and he was falling. Okay. This is my first sketch of that idea before. And I had way too much ink coming out of the pen, so I was brushing it, trying to get it out so that I can give it more of a textured look. And here I've used a bit of graphite pencil to shade the face. Okay, this page is a bit of a mess. I've squeezed in sketches, so I'll flick through my sketchbook to find a bit of space and then I'll do a sketch. So I was testing here with a fine liner to do my construction, same with this one. This was a sketch that you'll see later on. A girl here holding a cup, sitting on a chair. I tried here to use some marker, but I don't really like the look of the marker with the brush pen. So the same person here, I tried drawing multiple times. So on this page I wasn't really feeling it. I couldn't seem to get started on this page. You'll see her face pop up quite a lot. This was in a video of how to draw a man riding a bike. I was really happy I could finish this bike in this style that I use. So here I'm using the dye ink brush pen and then I'm using my pigment ink brush pen. This was quite a nice sketch, but I just think I wrecked it in the middle. So this is in a video, this one, and I actually showed this on my stories page. Some more experimentation. This was using my fine liner brush pen. I really like that sketch. This almost made it to YouTube, so I have to sketch him again. Oh, there he is. No, there he is. A bit confusing when things are upside down. Just trying some hands, and I didn't quite get the angle of the face right there. This is a nice little sketch in the corner using my fine liner, my brush pen and my water brush pen with a bit of ink in there. Now I've started to write more notes, what I liked and didn't like about each sketch. So this one I used a blending stick to blend the ink down. I saw someone on Instagram using words like this behind their sketches, so I just giving it a go. This is a fine liner with the brush pen again, and then a few just plain brush pen sketches around. So this is one of my sketches I did from imagination. And you know me, most of my sketches here are from references, but I'm working towards drawing from imagination. More hands. And here's this guy with robot legs. Scary mask. This sketch I really liked, so I made a video out of that one. And used my orange brush pen and a bit of water to make this background. I think I like that faded look rather than the solid look. So you can see the difference between this kind of solid, and that's what I'm still working on, which style I like better. And then really love this sketch, so I did that again for a YouTube video. And this one's in a video too. This was done with the dye brush pen, and because it was bleeding, I had to keep all the colour away from the line work, but I actually like that effect with the white. I definitely felt like I got better at drawing the face at different angles and getting the proportions right when I was sketching really quickly. It's also given me confidence in what sort of style of art I want to go into, and also the process I go through to produce a sketch. Definitely looking back at all my sketches, my favourite ones were the ones that I used my dye-based pen or brush pen. This is the medium tip. I love the texture and the feeling of these sketches. This page as well was done that way, and you can compare it to these sketches, which are nice, but for some reason I couldn't get the same feeling as on this page. So why this brush pen became my favourite by the end, you can see the ink, it just flows so freely, and if you do it quickly it makes nice dry brush effect. If you go a bit slower you can still get solid ink line, and the tip is so thin that you can produce these lovely textures. And even if you do thin little strokes like that, you can produce shadow. I think for me this is the most versatile and really nice brush to use. So is keeping a sketchbook worth it? In my opinion, definitely yes. The reasons I found are that it's easier to learn and build on mistakes by seeing my previous work, seeing what I did wrong and right, and then trying to improve it. When I sketch on loose paper, I don't carry that around with me, but with a sketchbook you're forced to carry all your older work, unless you rip it out. Another important reason for keeping a sketchbook is that I found that I could easily compare the different pens and pencils I was using in the different sketches right next to each other. So I would really encourage you to get a sketchbook, start testing and improving with each page that you feel. My next sketchbook is a Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, and I'm really loving it at the moment. I hope you enjoyed my first sketchbook tour, and I'll see you in the next one.